And that is the challenge, and that is why so many hundreds of thousands of lives have been changed. Can I get a round of applause? Now, the reason why I know a lot of you are here is to hear from the gentleman that I get the honor of bringing up next. I met him when I was in Atlanta, Georgia. After an event just like this tonight, I sat down with him the next day and said, do you think maybe one day I might be able to get out of my boring, stuffy corporate job? And he said, Ashley, if you stay 100% coachable and you have that same passion that you do now for changing lives, and you don't deviate from the system that I'm going to show you, I'll have you out of what you're doing in 90 days. He had me out of what I was doing not only in 90 days, but in 60 days. So he under-promised and over-delivered, which is what you'll find that is something that's very common with everyone who knows this man. Many years after that, we realized we were great friends, and then we fell in love, and I got a chance to marry my mentor and the person who changed my life forever. And he's an amazing husband and new father. But I want you guys to know that he's top 15 in the world in this style of marketing. He's written books teaching young people what their teachers and professors and parents don't teach them about money. He is an expert in this industry and personally responsible for about 862 people in the last 3 years, creating for them and their families a six-figure income plus through Visalus and the challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Sarnicola.
Hey guys, good evening. Everyone doing all right still?
Yeah!
All right. Well, those of you guys that understand, if you want a seat, there's a bunch of empty ones all throughout. Just make your way down the aisle, grab a seat. First of all, let's address the most obvious question. How many of you guys found it abundantly weird to watch the DVD of a guy and a gal as they stood behind you watching themselves on DVD? The reason why we do that is, even when Ashley and I are in a city, we want everyone to understand how simple what we really do is. We just press play on a blender, or excuse me, blend on a blender and play on a DVD player. You actually heard one of the testimonies say that, and that's all that happened tonight. Even when we were here, we just played press blend on a blender and play on a DVD. How many of you guys have the ability to do those two things? Who feels like they can do that, right? So if you have the ability to do that, then you can make this thing happen. I want to be able to see those faces in the back. So if you have the ability to do that, then you can, make this business work for you guys. And I want to, first of all, I want to thank all of you guys that are just out here checking out the challenge today. Whether, the business side of this makes sense to you or not, it doesn't really matter. As long as the challenge is something you're going to take on, you're going to try to lose weight, you're going to try to lose inches, gain some muscle mass. That's the primary reason for us getting together, this evening. Quick backstory. I'm originally from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Usually one person. Yeah, I heard clap. Where's the word clap from? There it is, one person. Oh, wait. So I was born and raised in a blue-collar, middle-class family. All four of my grandparents, they worked at the same factory, and it kind of had a trickle-down effect. My family had one disease that was passed on from generation to generation. How many of you guys had something that was passed on, like high blood pressure or whatever, right? Our family suffered from chronic bronchitis. Maybe you've heard of that? Anyone else's family suffered from chronic bronchitis? It just follows everywhere. So I was the youngest of all the grandchildren. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up, but I knew what I didn't want to be, and that was suffer from chronic bronchitis. So I had a daydream that I wanted to be quote-unquote rich one day. Anybody remember when you were a kid, you're 8, 9 years old, and you wanted to be rich one day? Yeah. The rest of you guys had daydreams about being poor one day when you're 8 or 9. So we all want to be rich one day. So the problem is there's not a training platform for that. You can't go to school and study Wealth 101. So you just go to school, they teach you what they teach you, and they say, hey, here's the juice. Go to school, get really good what? Right. So you get into the very best what? College. When you're at college, you have to get really good what? Grades. So you graduate, you get the very best, and then you work that job for the rest of your life. And then at the end of that, it will just you retire, and you have your golden years, right? How many of you guys fell for that one too? Yeah. So I said, I'm going to try to beat the system here, but I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't play an instrument, I can't rhyme, so I'm not going to be a good rapper. I can't act. I'm not a good liar, so illegal's out. So sports. That's it. I'm going to have to go with sports. So I went on and played college baseball. And while I was playing college baseball, I was introduced to the #1 way that financial success is created for people, which is entrepreneurship. And first I was angry. I was like, wait a second, I just got done with 14,000 hours of school, you know, kindergarten through 12th grade. That's not even counting the bonus hours, right? It's like, I think there's 4 of you guys laughing. Most of you guys are, what are the bonus hours? And how many of you guys have a bunch of those bonus hours like I did? Yeah, so we did some bonus hours. And nobody brought up the word entrepreneurship one time. It wasn't written down on one chalkboard. It wasn't said from one teacher. It wasn't a class, a book, a story. It wasn't anything. So when I found out about it, I immediately fell in love. I started a home-based business in this particular industry at 18. I had no success for multiple years, and then finally I figured it out a little bit, and it started to take off. And by the time I was 23 years old, you know, I was in a position where I was making as much a month as my peers were making a year graduating with their degree. And, you know, it's a pretty fascinating life when you can make $30,000 a month at 22, 23, 24 years old. And I moved from Grand Rapids, Michigan to Huntington Beach, California. The more your resources increase, the more your allergies do, and I became extremely allergic to snow. As, you know, any other people have snow allergies? Right? No, thank you. So, and I can remember waking up every day, specifically Monday through Friday, and I walk down to the water at 8 a.m. And I touch my toes in the water and say, today I beat the system Monday. Today I beat the system Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, you know, I look back and this was 10, 11 years ago, and now there's people that have taken that saying, and I see it all float all throughout Facebook. They'll wake up, they'll take pictures of whatever they're doing. Today I beat the system. Today I beat the system. I had no idea that 10, 11 years later, it would have thousands and thousands and thousands of people that would take that quote. And you know, you can look to the left and you can see Dana Point and Newport Beach. You can look to the right, you can see all the way up to Santa Monica. And there was nobody for miles. Where was everybody at Monday through Friday at 8 a.m.? Work, right? It was just like me and a couple homeless guys. We were high-fiving the whole time. Awesome. You know, everyone that didn't know me at that time automatically assumed I was one of two things. Like, all right, he's young, he makes a lot of money, he drives a nice car, he doesn't seem to work, he's at the beach every day. He's either a rich kid, because there's a lot of rich kids in Orange County, California, and if he's not a rich kid, then he has to be a supermodel. Yes. So at first it used to bother me, and then I realized that people didn't have a problem with me, they had a problem with what they were taught. Because what they were taught ever since they were this tall is that that type of success at that age is just not what? Possible. That's not possible. It's not possible. And after a while I realized, you know, they're right. That type of success is not possible, in what they are doing. But I wasn't doing what they were doing. I was an entrepreneur. And with entrepreneurship, it's possible. It's not guaranteed, it's possible. But in a traditional career, whether you're a traditional employee or you're self-employed, it is impossible to have time and financial freedom both. It's an impossibility. You can have a lot of money and know what? Anybody know folks that make great money but you never see them because they're always working? And you can have a lot of time and know what? Because you're never working. Everybody knows? They play a lot of PlayStation, those guys do. Or number 3, there's another new group that's just starting to pop up by the millions. They have no time and no money. You know what's interesting about this group is they're usually the most skeptical. And I'm looking at them going, why are you skeptical? You're 0 for 2. You got none of them. Like, you should be skeptical about what you're doing, because that's not the one that's not working, right? So, entrepreneurship is the only way possible to have fun. It's the only way possible, unless you become, like I said, a movie star or this or that. If you don't have superhuman talents, entrepreneurship is the only way possible. It's not guaranteed. It's not. But at 18 years old, I was just looking for a possibility. My whole life, I was looking for a possibility. And the fact that I found one was all that mattered to me, because then it put it in my hands. Right? It took it from, this is impossible, it could never happen, you could never be this, you could never have that, to it is possible, but it's up to you. And I was willing to take that on, right? And I know there's some of you guys in this room that you're restless, right? You're driving home from work, going, that's going to be me, that's going to be me, and you're searching for a possibility. How many of the possibility seekers are out there tonight? Any possibility seekers, right? And it's not everyone, right? Some of you guys are just here for the challenge, and like I said, that's completely fine. But some of you guys are possibility seekers, and what I can show you guys is, we're not a possibility, we are the undisputed champion of possibilities for someone. It doesn't have to be this pie in the sky, you're going to become a gazillionaire one day. It's possible, but it doesn't have to be that. It might just be, a couple $100 a month. It might be a BMW, in your driveway and making it. This is the one that is exciting to me. We help nearly 20,000 families put a BMW in their driveway and make an extra $1,750 per month on average. So some make less, some make more. So that means a car payment, a house payment, and a lot of them have free product, so a big dent in their grocery bill. If you were not rich with us, but all we did was pay for your car, your home, and put a big dent in your grocery bill, raise your hand if you'd be completely okay with that. So that's what I want you to focus on. I don't want you. In fact, I can't stand people that are like the late night info like, you're all going to get rich if you sign that piece of paper, and we'll just send you checks for doing nothing. It drives me nuts. It's not going to happen. It is possible. Some of you might knock it out of the park. Some of you might become, Jen Webster and Ernest Ross. You might make $250,000 a year with us, or $300,000+ a year with us. You might do that in a short time frame. How long have you been with us, Jen? 2 years, Ernest, 1 year and change. He's already at $30 grand a month. Results not typical, yada, 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 not easy to do, etc., etc. But you might, right? You might. But I want you to focus on the fact that we can put an extra $1,500, into your house, a car payment, a house payment, and a big dent in your grocery bill. Please stand up. Actually, let me do the perimeter first. If anyone's a regional director and above in that perimeter standing, just raise your hand real quick. Starting with Ernest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those of you guys that are seated, stand up if you're regional directors. 10.
Regional directors.
Regional directors above. Regional directors above stand up. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26. So it's 26 people out of 200 and change. So 250 we'll call it. 26 people, 27 out of 250 that are qualified, for the car. 28 with Ash who just stepped out. So 1 out of 9 people in the room, are already qualified for the car. That's not like one day, Sunday, maybe you might get a pink Cadillac. I'm talking about like 1 out of 9. I want you guys to look 4 people to your right, and then look 4 people to your left, and then just say, hey, it's not you, it's me, because it's one of us, right? Because it's going to be one of you guys is real. So I know Shalana right now is over 2/3 of the way there, and she just started a week ago, right? So over 2/3 of the way there. The point is, I want to get across to you that what we're really good at, is getting, 4 figures extra to take some relief, to take some pressure off your house. That's what we're really, really good at. But you got to do the system. You got to work. Like you can't just. Our style of marketing is called network marketing, right? In order to make some net income, you must put in some work, right? It's not called net sit at your home in your underwear and do nothing marketing and get paid, right? You're going to have to do some stuff here. You're going to have to share the challenge. You're going to have to get it out there. You're going to have to spread the word. And if you'll do that, you got a shot to make something happen. And if you'll do it aggressively, you got a shot to make a 5-figure income a month. And if you do it aggressively, really aggressively, really aggressively, you might be able to make a 6-figure income a month. And it's out there, but it's possible. And we got people that have made, $6 million in the last 36 months with this. But it was the hardest thing they've ever done in their life, times 1,000. Right? The hardest thing they've ever done in their life, times 1,000. So, wherever you're looking to succeed as an entrepreneur, a couple $100 a month, or significantly more, we have it covered. Right? We have it covered. You just got to, kind of, what they say, get in where you fit in, right? You just got to figure out where do you want to participate and just get in where you fit in with it and go for it. Now, what is it that we do as a company? I think all you guys understand that we've got a challenge, and the challenge is what we're getting people on, and that's what's generating the revenue for people. But if you want to know, what we stand for as a company, I said it at the end of the DVD, I said, as a company, our #1 overarching mission and goal is we'll be the #1 company in the history of the world to fight obesity. That's what we want to be known for. We want to go down as, that's the company that was the first company that said, instead of just selling stuff to people that, that need to lose weight, that they want to take on obesity. Now, there's been a lot of nonprofits that have said that. Fight obesity, fight obesity, fight obesity, First Lady, childhood obesity, right? And they've all failed. And they've all failed miserably. I mean, think about this for a moment. The First Lady has the most resources accessible to her to pick one problem to fight, and each year it's gotten worse. So it's going to take more than a nonprofit approach to this. You can't organize more walks. That's not going to solve the problem, right? This is the #1 fastest growing epidemic on the planet. Now, for the first time ever since creation of man, there are more people listed as overweight than malnutrition for the first time ever. That's a major issue. Because I know you remember 20 years ago, I remember 20 years ago, when all you saw on television was starving nations, starving nations, starving nations. Well, for the next 20 years, all will be is obese nations, obese nations, obese nations. We're literally eating ourselves to death. And it's the #1 cause, obesity is, of all preventable diseases. It's the #1 cause of all preventable diseases. Guys, we got to do something about this, right? And here's our stance on this. We will be the company that says we will take on obesity, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take the individuals who have the most desire. So there's people in this room who might not be the smartest. She's like, I'm not the smartest, but I got the most desire. Who might not be the smartest, but they got the most desire. We're going to take the people that got the most work ethic. We're going to take the people that might be the smartest, the most influential. I don't know on the platform where you work or where you are right now. You might be, there's doctors in this room, and you know what, there's hungry college students in the room. There's everybody in this room, right? But we're going to take them all, and we're going to give them a platform to be successful entrepreneurs fighting the #1 problem in the world. And when you can take the #1 business platform and give it to the smartest, hungriest, hardest working, most intelligent, most influential people and say, go solve the problem, and you'll make a 6-figure income a year or a 7-figure income a year, you'll solve the problem fast. You'll solve the problem real fast. Watch this. How many of you guys would go crazy making a 7-figure income a year fighting obesity? Who would go crazy? Yeah! You just have to create a platform where that's possible. Now, how many guys would go just as crazy, maybe not as crazy, but pretty much as close to crazy, even if it was just 6 figures a year, right? So the thing is, you've got to take compensation drives behavior. Compensation drives behavior, and the behavior that we're creating is taking hungry, driven, strong, intelligent, etc. people, giving them a platform to be the most successful entrepreneurs that they can be, fighting obesity. That's our plan to attack it. And the way that we're doing it is through the challenge. That's the way we're doing it. Now, just a couple quick minutes on the history of obesity, because as an entrepreneur, you can't go solve a problem that you don't know where it came from. And this is quick, but it's really easy to figure out. 2 months ago, the American Medical Association classified obesity as a disease. So, they said it's out of your control. It's a disease. And I do agree that there are some individuals that have alcohol addictions, that have drug addiction. There are people that have food addiction, and that's the classification. But 100 years ago, obesity didn't exist. So did human beings change in 100 years, or did their choices change? So the choices are what changed. Right? Human beings didn't change. So there wasn't this obesity disease 100 years ago that everyone woke up with. So the thing is, your options changed and your lifestyle changed. 100 years ago, what did 9 out of every 10 people do for a living, for work? They all did what? They all farmed. I mean, every day they woke up and they did lots of stuff that required their body. Did you know 100 years ago, nobody had a gym membership? No farmers had a gym membership. Did you know 100 years ago, at the end of a work day, one farmer did not call another farmer and say, bro, is it back day or buys and tries day today? Because if you're a farmer, every day is back day, every day is leg day, you're putting up fences, you're carrying things and riding things, and you're I don't know, chasing chickens with hatchets, I don't know what you're doing. But it seems like a lot of work, right? And at the same point, at the same point, this thing called corporate America popped up, and 100 years later now, 99, well, some play at 99, 90+% play, whatever, they're pushing paper. So, there's your physical reason, is that the lifestyle has 100% changed. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing that people are not using their bodies for their career. I'm not saying it's bad, but I am saying that that is a cause. Because now you have to say, okay, you need to work out every day, you need to exercise every day, you need to jog every day, you need to use your body every day, and everybody is either too what or too what? Too tired and too busy, too busy, too tired, too busy, right? So they're not getting any physical activity. And by the way, when you lived on that farm, you ate off the land, right? So even when you ate bad, it was still better than the good food today, right? It's just you ate off the land. So now, 1940, this thing called World War II happened, and women in America went to the workforce by the millions, and it's never slowed down since. And you might be saying, so you're trying to say it's my fault thing? No, that's not what I'm saying. I saw women, I don't talk fast as the eyebrows start coming out. What this means is now dad and mom are both gone all the time. Right? So when dad and mom are both busy and tired, and they're both gone all the time, they're both working their butt out, that means nobody's fixing anything for anybody, no one's has a garden, nobody's got fresh food, nobody's preparing a meal. It's just like, here kid, here's $3, eat pizza at school, and here's $10, order another large pizza for dinner. Right? And that becomes how the kids eat, right? So it's just like, we're just on the run. What that is, that compounded busy. Because now both mom and dad are both gone. Busy just got busier.
Yep.
But no worries, 1940, a solution popped up. For the busy lifestyle, you can't figure out your food situation, we'll just deliver this magical food called what type of food? Fast food. Because now, it'll give you food fast, and we'll give you food what? Cheap. We'll give you food fast, we'll give you food cheap. My dad said that when he was a kid, they used to go to McDonald's once a month if they were good. Right? If you were a good kid, you get to go to McDonald's once a month. Now, like I get people like, well, I only go to McDonald's once a week. I only go once a week. And Burger King on Tuesday, and Wendy's on Wednesday, Chick-fil-A on Thursday, KFC on Friday, Pizza Hut on Saturday. No, you missed the point. That's 7 days a week of fast food. It's got a different logo, right? It's still 7 days a week. How many of you guys know people that actually eat fast food more than once a day? And they're out there. They're out there. So here's my conclusion of what people's life looks like today. You wake up in the morning with one sole purpose: get the kids to school on. So you run, you get yourself ready, get them ready, get backpacks ready, get your bags ready, do your hair, do their hair, brush the teeth, brush everybody's teeth, you run, throw a couple Pop-Tarts in the toaster, frisbee them at the kids, boom, they nail, you grab them, you throw them in the car, you drive as fast as you can, you get to school, you slow down about 5 miles per hour, you bounce them on the curb, you keep going down the road as fast as you can, you pull into work, the office is here, Starbucks is here, you run across the street to Starbucks, triple latte frappuccino thing with creams and sprinkles on top, and then you look down into the glass case, because there's always a healthy, nutritious breakfast inside the glass case, right? Bear claw, cheese Danish, I'm going to go with the chocolate chip muffin. By the way, another word for chocolate chip muffin is chocolate chip what? Cake. You just had cake for breakfast. So you can have chocolate chip cake and double frappuccino latte thing, triple thing on grande. And at lunch you got 60 minutes for lunch, but it's only about 45 because one more call, one more email, one more conversation, one more piece of paper. You go to the elevator downstairs, look outside, pizza by the slice, you run across the street, give me a slice of pizza, give me a couple breadsticks, and give me Diet Coke, because I'm really watching this stuff. Here's my perspective. If you're going to get pizza by the slice of breadsticks, just push all your chips in and get the regular Coke, man. So you run upstairs, you eat the food at your desk, and lo and behold, 90 minutes later, you're still starving because you have chocolate cake and pizza now. So you run down the all-natural, all-organic vending machine at the end of the hall, you pump a couple dollars in, Nutter Butter and some Cheetos, go back to your desk, pound those things, work is done, now you can relax, right? No, you got to get home as fast as you can, you got to grab the kids, get them out of the school clothes, get them into the uniforms, you got to switch up the sports bags and the backpacks, got to get the cleats on, uniforms on, grab them all, throw them in the back of the minivan. You're doing 90 through the residential two-wheels, and then you jump the third with the fast food, and through the drive-thru, you grab 2 bags of drive-thru, over your shoulder, you hit the kids in the head again, now you're out of the game. Here's what you look like. You got one knee on the steering wheel, you got Diet Coke over here, you got French fry arm going over the back. What do you think happens If that's people's lifestyles, what we offer is a simple, fun, sexy, mainstream, exciting solution as the path of least resistance into that healthy consciousness to get them off fast food, and that's called the challenge. And it's 3 things. It's so easy. Just set a what? Goal. Set a goal. How many of you guys are honest to admit that in the next 90 days there's something that you can work on having to do with your body or your health, right? For the rest of you that didn't raise your hand, it's your ego we're going to work on for the next 90 days. After you set a goal, you got to select anybody. Yeah. Now here's the key. Select the kid that matches your goal. Shh, big secret. Right? I got to lose 40 pounds. I think I'll get the balance kit. That doesn't match your goal. Right? You know, the balance kit should be renamed the I'm going to buy this so you leave me alone kit. That's what the balance kit should be. Now, the balance kit's going to help you, yeah, you know, it's going to be a healthy breakfast, a lot healthier than that Pop-Tart or the nothing that you're eating, but it's not going to get 40 pounds off you now. You want to lose weight fast now, get munches off, get a transformation kit. Well, you understand it, you know, it's $4 a meal, twice a day, it's expensive, $8 a day. Really? What's one trip to the drive-thru cost now? One extra value meal? $7, $6, right? This is $4 a meal twice a day. You know, so it's just like, where are your priorities is more of my question. Buy it once and we'll teach you how to get it for free anyways. So you're going to be replacing the money in your grocery bill, and then we'll help you go get it for free. And by the way, it's really easy to get it for free once we get that first 10 pounds off you. Yep. So select a kit, set a goal, select a kit. By the way, we should put in parentheses underneath select a kit, you must take the kit. Just so you know. You can't put the shake underneath your pillow and lose weight through osmosis. It doesn't work like that. You actually have to consume the stuff. There's a 90-day money-back result guarantee. Why would you not? Like, prove us wrong. Out of 400,000 people this year that could have exercised their right to return their 90 days worth, guess how many have returned their 90 days worth so far? 4. 4 out of 400,000. That's not 1%. That's like 0.001% or 0.01% or something like that. If it was 4,000 people, that would be 1%. And then I would even say, you know what? It doesn't work for 1%. 4,000 people returned it. 4 people. This is what this tells me. It's those 4 people, and you all know who they are. It's that one relative, that one coworker you have, that no matter how great something is, they will always find something miserable in the streets, right? Because there's no other solution for it. It's the person who bought, 3 months worth, they dumped it out in their garden, and then they're like, see, I gained weight. This stuff doesn't work. Meanwhile, their carrots and tomatoes have been shrinking in their garden. That's what I made up. But you get the idea. So, set a goal, select a kid, and then enter to what? Start with your weekly goal. Listen to me closely. Shoot your video tonight. Yes. Go to challenge.com, shoot your video, and upload it tonight. Not tomorrow, not the next day. I just had a new guy join the team. Actually, I think it's Shalana's team. Is that the guy that was on the team call the other day? Your team, 11 pounds? New guy in Shalana's team. Hey, I just lost 11 pounds. I already knew what the answer was. I said, did you shoot your video? No. Let me guess, because you didn't think you were going to lose that fast. Exactly. So here's what that means. You do not get an I lost a t-shirt because you wouldn't just shoot the first video the day you start. What it also means is you can't get $1,000. You can't be $1,000 weekly winner like Claire right there, right? So there's someone that won $1,000 just for losing 10 pounds. But here's another thing. We cannot sponsor a child who suffers from childhood obesity to help them lose their first 10 pounds in your name or in your honor, because we don't know that you actually did, because it's just hearsay unless you shoot the video. For every one of you guys that don't shoot the video, every 10 pounds that you don't document, that's a kid that we could be fighting obesity with. That's a kid we could be fighting obesity with. So I want you to associate some sort of pain to this other than, oh well, I didn't get the t-shirt, or oh well, I wasn't going to win $1,000 anyways, I got the 10 pounds off. Then do it for our program of our ability to fight child obesity. Here's why we do this. We do it because childhood obesity is one of the only problems you cannot educate children out of. You can educate them out of poverty, you can educate them out of ignorance, you can educate them out of lack of education, you can educate them out of whatever, except for obesity. Why? Because no matter how much you teach them, their parents and their school control what they eat. So even if they wanted to, if it was, hey kid, you're either going to starve to death or you're going to eat what I put in front of you, guess what? They're going to eat what you put in front of you. So in order to fight child obesity, You've got to change the parents first, and that's what Project 10 and Project 10 Kids is all about. So shoot your video tonight, enter to be a monthly winner, enter to be one of the finalists and a grand champion. You hear this every single time, not every time, where people get on stage like, I never thought in a million years I was going to be the grand champion. And by the way, it's a lot like American Idol meets The Biggest Loser. There's 12,000 people there, the community's voting, it's emotion, there's tears, you got celebrities on the stage congratulating you, high-fiving, hugging you. It's a really cool thing, it's a big deal. And fitness folks in the room, you can win the challenge. Weekend Warriors, you can win the active lifestyle category. Where are the Weekend Warriors at? There's always like 3 of you. So who does not know what a Weekend Warrior is? Who does not know what a Weekend Warrior is, right, man? This is that crazy person that wakes up at 6 a.m. and jogs 19 miles on a Sunday morning, right? And then you wake up at 9 and they're already showered, they're already cooking breakfast at home. And they're like, what'd you do? I just ran 19 miles. Why the hell would you do that? Oh, for the heck of it. You just ran a marathon for the heck of it on a Sunday morning? Yeah, I just felt like running, So that's an active life. How do you guys know one of those people? Looney Tunes. So they can win, fitness people can win, weight loss people can win, but you must enter to what? Win. Set a, select a, enter to win. You got it. Customers in the room, you've been looking at me for the last 20 minutes going, dude, I just wanted to appreciate tonight. Thought I was going to Dairy Queen, somebody brought me here. For the type 1 people and the type 2 people, meaning get on the challenge or get on the challenge, get it for free. For you folks, you want to grab the piece of paper that has the 5 kit options. I'll show you which one that is. It looks like this one right here. Grab the one with the 5 kit options. Pick the kit that you want. And fill out the bottom, hand the person you're working with, they'll get you started. If you want to add Crunch onto your order, this is the last chance for our special pricing and free shipping because it ships this time next week. It ships. So for the last 7 days, hop on some Crunch, meaning if you want to have a shake a day for breakfast, some cereal for breakfast and a shake for lunch or whatever, you'll be able to mix it up. Type 3 people. If you are in the room today and you do want to join the challenge as a promoter, you're the possibility person. Grab this one right here, fill this out, figure out how you're going to get started with us. Type 3 people, I'm going to tell you 2 things. Number 1, I'm going to go through a getting started training in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to take a break in 2 minutes, and 5 minutes from there, I'm going to go through a getting started training. I'm going to show you how to make your first $500, $1,000 back and your first set of bags. Type 3 people, this Saturday, there's a local success training for the marketplace of Atlanta. It is in?
Atlanta Marriott North.
Atlanta Marriott North, which is?
Cobb Galleria.
Cobb Galleria. Is there flyers for this?
Yes.
In the back?
No, not.
There are not flyers for this. Okay. Marriott Cobb Galleria, the time is?
Challenge for 1 o'clock. Training.
1 o'clock challenge party like we did today, 2 o'clock training. I would definitely recommend it. It's about 3 hours worth of training, product breakdowns, compensation plan breakdowns, how-tos. Tonight, I'm going to do a 15-minute training. All I'm going to do is tell you what to do to make your first $500 back. If you're brand new or you're not a rising star, or you are a rising star and you want to learn how to teach it the way I do, stick around. We're going to take a 5-minute break. My closing thought, gang, is this. We've got one mission here, which is to go kick obesity's you-know-what. In order to do that, I need 2 types of people. I need people that are willing to just do something about it for themselves. Meaning, don't worry about the money part. Don't worry about the business part. Don't worry about all that other stuff. Just take the challenge. Give it a shot. Get a transformation. Go for it. There's a 90-day money-back guarantee. Go after it. And I need people that want to go help us put millions upon millions upon millions of people on a challenge so that I can help you be rewarded financially as a successful entrepreneur. But if we can find these 2 people, we can begin to put a major dent in obesity. Do I have either of those 2 types of people in the room tonight? Turn the person that brought you down, let them know if you just want to, number 1, get out of the challenge, number 2, try to get it free, or number 3, you want to be a promoter, get in the challenge, we're going to take a 5-minute break. see you at 5. Thanks.